Tenete gli occhi sul palco! E action!
Brando Benetton has directed an amazing film.
Action is perhaps the most universally loved genre.
This is something that, as student filmmakers, you could only really dream about.
In regards to the story, we studied a lot of action movies that came before us, movies that inspired us, and we tried to incorporate some of the elements of these stories in our own. So we had moments like setting big action pieces and iconic landmarks, the assassination of a big political figure, were all elements we had seen in other movies and we really enjoyed.
It's full of exciting chases and gunfights and huge stunts, around which is involved this intriguing story of these two spies that are going underground into various plots and places in the world, trying to figure out where this money has gone.
At the end of the day, people go to the movies to be entertained. It's entertainment. And we try to surround ourselves with the best cast and the best crew, given the best resources that we had.
So my role on this film is director of photography. Essentially what I do is I work closely with the director. We figure out what the look is going to be, and I achieve physically what will appear on screen, and at the end result, what people will see.
Cut! 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 Cut!
So much for a quiet exit.
We've gotten to see all these amazing sets and places that are real-life, classic locations. And Brando has done an amazing job putting this story all through different spots of Verona, Italy, his hometown.
The Piazza Bra set was perhaps the most complicated set piece, and the reason was because there were a lot of elements to coordinate for everyone and very little time to do it. From all departments, it was a lot of work. We were trying to work with aerial cinematography. We also had very cold weather, which was very harsh on the crew and the actors and the extras we had.
Quello che abbiamo voluto fin dalle prime fasi di organizzazione è stato un casting aperto a tutti, non un casting normale al quale le comparse, i candidati si propongono e vengono selezionati, ma un grande evento cinematografico al quale tutti avrebbero potuto partecipare vivendo l'esperienza del set cinematografico.
Stunts were probably the first thing I began working on, along with Simone Bonelli, our stunt coordinator. And I remember us talking in a cafe in Rome. We spent about 8 hours that day just going over the script and talking about what stunts we would have liked to see in a movie and what was achievable and what wasn't.
Ho avuto l'onore di partecipare a questo progetto grazie alla chiamata di Brando e ci tenevo tantissimo. Il mio ruolo qui è di coordinatore stunt. L'insieme è molto bello perché è tutta azione, quindi è pane per i nostri denti. Con Brando mi sono trovato benissimo, anche perché lui ha avuto esperienze anche di stunt nel suo piccolo, quindi capisce benissimo le scene d'azione e quello che serve a un film d'azione per risaltarlo.
What I think a lot of what is exciting about the film is the good combination of stunts and special effects that goes to complement each other in a lot of ways. With what was permitted to us to do in the city, go as crazy as we could.
Take one, mark.
When it came to shooting at Movieland, those were actually the first and the last 2 days of production, which were all condensed into the opening act of the film. and they had emptied the lake in the arena because the season was closed for the season. However, we had them refill it, and by the time we got to shooting, the lake temperature had dropped to 34, 36 degrees. And there was no way for us to work around it. We had to have our stunt guys jump into water, and just by shooting around water, temperatures in general just drop. The most complicated special effect was perhaps the car explosion. The car explosion took weeks, if not months, to prep. But what we had to do, we had to buy a used car and send it to the special effects laboratory in Rome, where they stripped it out completely and just kept the shell and filled it inside, rigged it with the proper explosions. And when the day came, we brought the car over to the set, and what they did is that they drilled a hole in the back of the car with the big piston. And when they said the explosion, the piston pushed the car up, and with the ball of fire beneath it, it really gave the illusion of a car exploding and being propelled in the air.
Olivetti is a bit of a mystery. He's a bit of like the little Russian dolls that you see the doll and it looks like a sweet thing, and then you open it up and underneath there's something sort of sinister, and you open that up, oh, and it's something sweet again. So you don't know. He's got layers upon layers. You're not quite sure where he fits in.
We cast Dylan Baker very late in the process, and even though I feel like he's often typecast as government officials or police officers, there was a side of him, a sweeter side, which I thought, you know, could have been a lot more interesting and a lot more insightful on the goodness that Olivetti is.
I love working with Brando. He's so funny. He feels like a little brother, I think. It's funny, you know, I grew up working in circuses, and my father's a clown, and that's why Brando and I got to be friends, because he always wanted to be falling down and being paid for it. And so, you know, we walk around set and he's constantly walking into doors and tripping and all that kind of thing, and then it's like action, okay, and then we have to fire guns. It's really fun.
His passion is unmatched. He wants to get the best movie he can get, and so his ideas are wild, and to try and make them happen is quite a challenge. I've enjoyed every time I've worked with him.
When it came to casting, I realized that every single small role had to be filled in the best shoes. And I met Francesco Panneti earlier in the summer, and I knew I really wanted an Italian actor to be a big presence in the film. Francesco was probably the most impactful choice because of his voice. He has a great voice, and make him a little bit of the symbol of the few Italian actors which are in the film.
Io sono molto contento di aver partecipato, non ho fatto una performance diciamo di quelli che si possono ricordare nella storia, però mi è piaciuto molto lavorare con questi giovani ragazzi, insomma un bel gruppo, mi sono trovato bene e spero tanta fortuna per tutti quanti.
Working with an American crew and an Italian crew, like I said earlier, is that the passion is there for everyone. There's no language barrier as far as people wanting to make movies and make a great movie like this one.